Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. This is your Premier League prediction video for match day 21 in the Premier League. As we've got a lot to talk about, as always, before we get into this week's predictions, I have to talk about not just last week, not just the weeks before, but even the match week even before that, the last 3 match weeks from match week 18 to 20, because like I said in those videos, I basically recorded those 3 within one session and like pre-recorded it and released it after. So now we are back to normal terms. We're not in a period where there are going to be so many games coming around. In fact, we're going to have a break. International break, of course, coming up. And this will be key for certain teams. But will also be poor and bad for certain teams as well. But I won't waste any more time. Before we go into it, just to let you guys know how this works, I get half a point for every team I get correct to win, and I get 1 point for the exact scoreline I predict is correct. So, let's start off match week 18. It was Crystal Palace Brighton. I went 1-1, and I believe it was actually 1-1. So, let me just double check because I don't want to get that wrong. So I'm gonna double check just in case because like I said, so many games. Yep, it was 1-1. Aston Villa against Sheffield United. Aston Villa, I believe, were robbed of at least 2 penalties and a goal. I went 2-0 Aston Villa. It was 1-1, so no points there. Obviously, Man City didn't play against Brentford because they were away with their Club World Cup. So we'll move on. West Ham against Manchester United. I actually thought I predicted West Ham. But for some reason, I went 2-2 and it was 2-0 West Ham. So that's great. Spurs Everton, I went with a 2-1 Spurs and it was a 2-1 Spurs, so that's my second point. Nottingham Forest Bournemouth, I went with a punchy 1-0 Nottingham Forest win. It was actually a 3-2 Bournemouth win, so great. Fulham Burnley, I went 5-0 Fulham. It was 2-0 Burnley. Crazy. Luton Town Newcastle, I went with a 3-2 win for Newcastle United. It was just a simple it wasn't even Newcastle win. It was a 1-0 Luton win. I was going to say a simple 1-0 win for Newcastle. No, it wasn't. And in the last 2 games, Liverpool Arsenal, I went 1-0 Liverpool. It was actually 1-1. What a game it was. And lastly, Christmas Eve, Wolves Chelsea, I went 2-1 Wolves. It was 2-1 Wolves. So that's 3 points for that week. I thought I did pretty well. It was my best out of the last 3 weeks. The worst was match week 19, where we started off with Newcastle against Nottingham Forest. I thought Newcastle home advantage really won it. 2-0 Newcastle, it was actually a 3-1 defeat. Sheffield United Luton Town, I went with a Sheffield United 2-1 win, and I said whoever wins that game are going to benefit a lot from it. And I went Sheffield United because it was home advantage, and Luton Town just shocked everyone. Bournemouth against Fulham, I went 1-0 Bournemouth. It was actually 3-0 Bournemouth, so half a point. Burnley Liverpool, I went 3-1 Liverpool. It was 2-0 Liverpool, so half a point again. Manchester United Aston Villa, I went 2-1 Villa, and they could have won it 2-1. They could have even won it 2-0, or they could have even got on a draw. They lost 3-2. Great. Chelsea Crystal Palace, I went 2-0 Chelsea. It was actually 2-1. Brentford Wolves, I went 1-1. He had a draw written all of it. It was actually a 4-1 away win for Wolves. Great result. Everton Man City, I went 2-2. It was 3-1 Man City. I don't think it was a penalty, and they were pretty much robbed, really. Brighton Spurs, I went 2-1 Spurs. It was 4-2 Brighton. What a game. And lastly, Arsenal West Ham, I went 3-1 Arsenal. I was so confident as well. It was actually 2-0 to the Hammers. So if I'm not wrong, I got 1.5 point in that week. Yeah, it was not a great week at all. And And last match week at least, Luton Town Chelsea, I went with a 2-1 Chelsea win. It was a 3-2 win, so half a point there. Crystal Palace Brentford, I went 1-1. It was actually 3-1. Man City Sheffield United, I went 3-0. It was 2-0, close, but half a point. Villa Burnley, I went 2-0. It was actually 3-2. Good game. Wolves Everton, I went 1-1. It was 3-0 Wolves. Great win. Nottingham Forest Manchester United again. I thought it was going to be a 2-2. I thought, you know what? Forest would get something, but not a win. They actually won it. So, yep, great. Fulham Arsenal, I again went 2-2. And it was 2-1 again to Fulham. Great win. Spurs Bournemouth, I went 2-1 Spurs. It was 3-1 Spurs. Liverpool Newcastle, I went 2-0 Liverpool. It was 4-2 Liverpool. And West Ham Brighton, I went 1-0 to West Ham, home advantage. But Brighton absolutely dominated them and got a draw. So 2.5 points there, not too shabby, in my opinion. So look, it's okay, right? But let's start this match week with sensibility, not sit on the fence, not try to make the best out of something really, because we have to get something this week. I'm aiming for 3.5 points at least. Starting off, Chelsea at home to Fulham. Now, I wouldn't count Fulham out because they beat Arsenal, but it was at home. And at the time of recording, I just watched last night Fulham play Rotherham in the FA Cup, and they didn't look fantastic, but they didn't look bad. So I think that Fulham are a side that can cause problems, and I'm looking at Chelsea right now, home advantage, but against Luton Town, they were 3-0 up and they nearly blew it. They conceded 2 goals in the last 5 to 10 minutes. So it's really, really close. But I'm gonna go with a punchy shot here with a 2-1 Fulham win, and I'm gonna kick things off there because I always go, Chelsea to win comfortably, or they'll probably win again. And at least now, if Chelsea play like they usually play, you wouldn't really be too upset with it because it's kind of like, oh, at least I predicted it. Newcastle Manchester City, what a game this is gonna be. I will certainly be watching that. That is gonna be a great game, fantastic game. Now Newcastle on some poor form, they went away to Anfield, and I thought they put up a good fight. I thought they played really well, but I think Liverpool got away with it a little bit because they had 2 penalties that I thought the first one was not a penalty. The second one, certainly I don't think it was a penalty as well. But Liverpool played really well, and Newcastle, scored that first goal through Isaac when they really had nothing to get themselves back in it, and scored the header from Botman, and again they didn't really have much to rely on. They are taking on Man City, so I'm gonna go with a 3-1 Man City win. I think it's not gonna be easy to go away to St James's Park, and that's what we usually say, don't we? We usually say any team that go to St James's Park will struggle, but Nottingham Forest have proved that with Newcastle's injuries right now, you can get at them. You can go over to St James's Park and get a result, and they aren't the first and probably won't be the last team to do it. And I think Man City are arguably, in terms of squad, the best in the league, and they have to win this game if they still think, you know what, we're going to be challenging Liverpool all the way, or we're going to be challenging Arsenal all the way, or even Spurs. We will be there, and Man City will definitely be there. So these are the kind of games that will look tough, but Man City will end up blowing Newcastle apart, in my opinion. Everton, Aston Villa. Now, this is those games where I am really worried for Aston Villa because arguably the best team in the league in terms of playing style. I got 2 teams that I like in terms of playing style: Aston Villa and Spurs. Like, they are the best 2 in the league by far, in my opinion. And Personally, for Aston Villa, the problem is away from home. They've lost many games away, and even games that they shouldn't have, like against Manchester United. So you're looking at Aston Villa going, they're going away to Everton, they're going away to Goodison Park. It's gonna be tough, which is why I want to say Everton win. I really want to say Everton win. The pressure that this puts on Aston Villa is huge, but I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. I'm gonna go with 1-1 draw because I don't want to be on here saying Aston Villa will lose, because I think they could get something from the game. I just don't think they will dominate. That's number one. And I'm not confident they will, even if they take the lead, they will keep it, because they could go to Goodison Park and lead 2-0. But whether they keep that 2-0 lead is a different story. Now, match of the week, I would say, is obviously Newcastle Man City, Man United Tottenham, and maybe Everton Villa, really. But two, Newcastle Man City and Man United Tottenham. But Spurs against but Man United against Spurs, sorry, it is a very unpredictable game. The last time these two sides played at Spurs, Spurs won by 2-0. Look, Man United have to win these home games. They're playing a side that are playing well with what they have, in terms of they don't have a big squad. You know, they don't have a lot of players fit. They don't have injury. They have injuries. They don't have players fit, and they are getting by just fine. But Spurs away from home, we have seen them struggle. You know, that game against Brighton, and Brighton aren't even as are Brighton as good as United? I don't think so. You look at the table, I don't think it is. But what I'm saying is, Brighton showed that you can beat Spurs with their current crisis, and I think United will try, and definitely they will. I'm gonna go with what I think will happen. 2-1 to Spurs. Away win. Burnley, Luton Town, like Sheffield United, Luton Town. Whoever wins this will take a big boost. A draw wouldn't help either side, especially if Sheffield United do somehow win their game. I don't know, man. I went Sheffield United last time because of home form, and Luton Town won. But Burnley showed away to Villa that they have something in them, so I'm gonna go. I'll go 2-0 to Burnley. Although I do see Luton scoring, but I don't want to go with another 2-1. It's kind of boring, in it. Brighton Wolves at the MX. Yeah. Wolves are on good form, I know. They came in away, I know. But Brighton at home, you would think that they are good enough to get the results. But I'm going to go 2 or draw. And it might be a big 2 points drop for Brighton, really. Arsenal Palace, look. And by the way, Brighton Wolves is there because I've just had to, reshuffle things and have to, put them there. But it doesn't really matter anyways. Arsenal, Crystal Palace. They have to win this. I'll go 3-1 Arsenal. At home as well. If they don't win this, Arsenal, right, and they lose the third game in a row, they are definitely not title contenders. And I don't even think they are right now, but I'm just saying they will be completely out of it. Brentford, Nottingham Forest. Look, Brentford aren't playing well at the moment. They just aren't. And they seem to get, beat heavily by anyone, home or away. Nottingham Forest, this new manager bounce, they went and, won against Newcastle away. They beat United at home. I just have a sneaky feeling they'll do it again. I'll go 1-0 Forest. And then last 2 games, Sheffield United, West Ham. Look, Sheffield United are a funny side because they tend to lose these games, don't they? But there's just gonna be one occasion where they show up, they turn up, and they win. And is it gonna be against the West Ham side that, you know, won against Arsenal? A side that are playing pretty well, but a West Ham side that hosted Brighton and couldn't really do much. It's a funny game. I'll go 1-1 again. I just feel like he has a 1-1 written all of it. And the last game, Bournemouth against Liverpool. Fancy a bit of 9-0 maybe? I'm only joking. I'll go. Bournemouth can score goals, and I expect someone like Solanke to score a couple. Let's go 4-2. Why not? Back-to-back 4-2 wins for Liverpool maybe. So those are my predictions. Let me know what yours are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.